Hello everyone and welcome to the Messenger 8-bit No OOB Tournament. I'm Chris and I'm joined here with
And I'm Dream Hazard. I've been commentating most of this week. So the first thing you'll notice is that BroedgeMan is running in Japanese. This gives him a roughly 4-second advantage over the course of the entire run. So here, as usual, we just have our standard platforming intro. Brief introduction to the cloud step technique.
Yeah, the cloud step is by far the most interesting technique in the game. It's what makes, I believe, this game really beautiful, I suppose, the movement. You can see some really cool stuff from both of these runners. So the demon army invaded, and we are the chosen ones to carry the scroll to the other end of the island. On top of the mountain, where the three sages are waiting. And basically this category is all about that one. We're going to deliver the scroll, and then we're going to pass the test, and that's it. Usually there's a Metroidvania part of the game, but we're going to skip this for this one.
So this particular category is very linear. It's it's entirely linear, but it gives a good example of showcasing the platforming, particularly and routing techniques that are used.
Yeah, we get every single movement ability, I guess, in this section, in this category, I should say.
Now we get
upgrade.
Yeah, we got all the movement upgrades.
Yeah, every other upgrade past this is more about like utility HP or shuriken recovery and such. So the runners enter the first shop, and they should have 40 time slots. They should have 40 time slots to get the first upgrade, which is the slashing projectiles and give you cloud step. The messenger cannot slash projectiles before that upgrade, so it's really important. It's not necessarily a skill that they get. I mean, I guess you can say that they get all their skills, I suppose, in this category. Probably. Yeah, now that I think about it, you do get all the abilities. You can like skip though some of them if you want to, but the
it's not advisable.
Yeah, the runs will opt to get everything, including like glide attack and such. Gives them like a lot of movement options, especially in the later stages.
Some of us have been toying with a low percent category, which is very difficult, as you don't gain any abilities except the mandatory ones.
Yeah, low percent is tough. Let's just say, yeah, it's really tough, especially if you're used to the abilities such as like slashing projectiles, which is like one of the most important ones, I would say.
The one I missed the most during my run was the second wind, the air recovery.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you get knocked, you get hit by an enemy, you just like fall off the stage completely.
Thankfully, that's one of the next upgrades they will buy, along with the shuriken at the end of Autumn Hills.
Yeah, this level Autumn Hills pretty much is a really fairly standard level. There are like a couple of sections that advise the players to do specific like techniques, such as like slashing enemies to gain cloud step, to do some small skips. Autumn Hills, since it's like the first level, has been really optimized quite well from the community. So so far both of them are actually doing a really good job. BroedgeMan actually missed like one specific damage boost, and that's why Sky is in the lead.
Both of them getting that climb skip.
Yeah, common riskers.
Good optimization.
Oh no, Sky with a death. This is like an extremely common spot for all of the hills deaths that happen there. That Spikeball, if you're like on 3 HP, you will deal 3 HP of damage.
And it's a very tight jump to make.
Yeah. Luckily though for Sky, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal because the checkpoint was kind of close. The only bad thing of course is they get that extra global text dialogue that otherwise you wouldn't get if you don't die. And also Sky will also get another cutscene later on.
And there's also the time shard penalty, which at this point in the run isn't too terrible, but it can have an effect later on.
Oh yeah, you're right about that one. So what BroedgeMan did was went to the shop and bought the shurikens because we're ninjas, right? But the shurikens are going to be utilized to actually one-cycle this boss. Usually you cannot do it without the shurikens. And as Azar mentioned, Sky had the penalty, the time starts upon the death. So Sky didn't have enough to buy the second win option. So Sky will opt to get the shurikens to get a one-cycle.
Which he does quite easily. So BroedgeMan falling into catacombs now, which is where the platforming gets a little more technical. Everything's a little tighter. There's crushers in this area. There's a lot more spikes. Just a lot more to deal with. It's very maze-like, as the name would suggest.
Indeed, really tight platforming. One of the most difficult thing about this level is the fact that everything is on a specific cycle, and in a lot of situations you want to catch specific cycles in order to go fast. Like if you play super safe, of course, you can go through the level, but you want to catch those really green cycles, I guess, not lose time.
Oh, and here's one of the best examples of that high-pass filter. When you fall into the water and the music changes to reflect the fact that you're under the water, it's just a beautiful little piece of audio design.
Indeed. Those little details are what make games really great.
An example there on BroedgeMan's screen of one of those cycles that's nice to catch. It's fairly standard for everyone to catch that one now, though in the early days it was a case of taking a damage boost through those saws.
Yeah, small optimization and movement. Usually like there were a couple of hits on the walls in the past. Now everyone knows exactly what kind of jumps to make, and they can like catch that cycle easily. This is like another one of those examples.
Which he missed. Wow.
Common discuss, I guess. So both runners got a death before Quills from Marsh. If they don't die after Quills from, well, yeah, if they don't die before the Quills from Mars boss, they will, skip a cutscene, which is not that big, but that little bit of a time save you get, it's really nice to get, I suppose. But both of them will get that extra dialogue later on.
That death has put them on fairly even footing now. Just a few screens between them.
Yeah, I would say that both of them got a little bit lucky. Like if you have to choose a death, I guess. Both of them got in a screen that is not really that far away from the checkpoint, so
yeah,
not losing that much time.
So here we're introduced to RNG. probably for the first time, where we see these Wizrobes. Very easy to deal with when you know exactly what you're dealing with, but later on they do become something of an issue.
So that's a little bit unfortunate. Sky actually got really good RNG, but Sky missed like the 2 kills in the first, I guess, phase of the Wizrobes. So unfortunately, Sky couldn't utilize the good RNG in that situation.
Sky opting not to go for the damage boost, so he'll be going through with a little more health.
Let's see if any of the runs are going to go for the 1 cycle here. It's actually kind of difficult to get. It doesn't necessarily save that much time, it's like 1 cycle, which is more or less 2-3 seconds. BroedgeMan is going to go safe. He missed.
Yeah,
like,
he just went a little high on one of his jumps, so he wouldn't have made the cycle. And Sky opting for the safe strategy as well. So BroedgeMan,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Just coming into the second boss of the game. This is where RNG really kind of kicks in.
Yeah, 2 patterns. BroedgeMan getting the best one.
Yeah, Acid Rain first attack allows him to go right up to the top and cause as much damage as possible. And then dropping down onto the platform underneath. Again, maximizing that damage.
I think BroedgeMan doesn't know this, but I believe Ruxtin is left with only 1 hit. Go, or 2 maybe. 3, right. If you do the shurikens while Ruxtin's down...
Yeah, he missed a couple of attacks as well. He turned away to reposition. So he missed a few hits.
So another thing is, when Ruxtin is down, and you drop the shurikens, you actually don't deal damage to Ruxtin.
Now that I wasn't aware of. I learned something new today.
Yeah, you have to slash him. So you cannot really deal the last hit with the shuriken now.
So this is the probably the most technical platforming of this run. Bamboo Creek.
Yeah, definitely the most technical one alongside Glacial Peak, but for 2 different reasons. Bamboo Creek is the one that you don't have a lot of upgrades, so it's like the more vanilla-ish, I guess. I don't know how to say it. While Glacial Peak, you have everything possible into it, and the level is designed that way that...
Yeah. You have a lot of backups as well in Glacial, which you wouldn't have here, so if you miss a jump here, then you've missed the jump, but if you miss a jump on Glacial, then you do have Rope Dart that might be able to pull you back.
Rope Dart always saving the day.
So here's the first instance of Halberd guy. We can safely ignore him.
No spoilers, we know who it is, but... we're not gonna see him. We're gonna see him in 1 more level, but we're not gonna see...
Oh, a BroedgeMan falling to the no out of bounds, the tree.
Totally no out of bounds. So...
Yep, it's not out of bounds because there is no bound there to go out of.
Exactly. Now they're like really close, like 1 screen separating them. 1 screen that this bamboo screen can actually change that.
Yes, this could be quite difficult. So he's taking the slower route up the elevator, but that can be beneficial.
I actually
That
really
was quite a nice climb.
Yeah, I actually really like that technique from BroedgeMan. It's like a mix between what Kuninga's EST view per world record holder is doing and pretty much what everyone else is doing. So that actually looked pretty cool. Sky got it really nicely involved. That skip is a really neat one, and BroedgeMan is approaching the next big one.
Probably the most technical room in the game, at least when you're early running, is trying to go for the 1 tile wall jump there. It is possible. In fact, it's my most consistent one-tile wall jump. But he does appear to be trying to take that jump too early. Wasting a lot of time there.
Yeah, Sky is the wall. They both missed like the big skip, and now BroedgeMan unfortunately had to rely on a RNG spawn of an enemy to get up there.
Sky going for the crystal, which will probably put him ahead.
Probably, yeah.
Because it will allow him to buy the aerobatics master.
Kind of depends on how BroedgeMan does quill swim, in my opinion, because I know BroedgeMan is an N% runner, in an out of bounds N% runner. So in out of bounds they don't use glide attack, so he's confident in quill swim Mars to have glide attack. So I think it would not really be that huge of a time loss for him.
The question is he going to buy the most valuable upgrade now? Or is he going to go for health instead? He does buy the most valuable upgrade. The Currents Master upgrade, which gets used exactly one time in the run.
Exactly, and not only is it used one time in the run, it's actually super cool, so style points, that's what we care about, and as we are ninjas, right?
So we didn't actually talk about the first upgrade that you buy, which is Strike of the Ninja, which allows you to attack projectiles in the air and recover your Cloud Step, which is one of the basic things of this game. On the low percent, it's massively missed.
True. What actually makes it super great, like the regular slashes are really cool with the Cloud Step and the projectiles, but with the glide attack you can get some really sick combos with projectiles. You can get some really insane height with it. So we might see later on, not in this level, but probably in quill swim, you'll see Sky having a...
Taking to the sky.
Yeah, pretty much.
So they both have the wingsuit now, which allows them to glide. The main difference here is that Sky has picked up an additional technique that allows him to downward slash, which adds a little bit of height and also recovers your Cloud Step. So you can use it to get some insanely high jumps off enemies and projectiles. We'll definitely see that in Crags. There's a nice little skip that we use early in one of the screens.
Yeah, Crags and Glacial Peak, both of them are really vertical
there.
levels.
If you blinked there, you would have missed that single use of Currents Master. Maybe we'll see Sky go for the same. Just at the bottom of this drop, there's a pool, and there he goes. So you dash forward and jump out of the water, and you carry the momentum out.
It is cool, so...
It does give you a slightly earlier cycle on the next room as well.
That is correct.
Because of the positioning of the enemies.
Saving those little bit of frames.
Kill the golems. There are 3 golems in this game.
Yep.
And here is the second.
It's a scary one. Because it has spikes.
Big crushy, mashy rock fists. So here we're looking for 7 slashes. And then move to the edge of the screen and Shuriken, which allows us to, with the right RNG and the right movement, it allows us to 2-cycle this. Good damage from BroedgeMan there.
I actually had no
opting
idea.
to take the 8th slash. So he might not get the 2-cycle here. No, he doesn't.
I think he missed it by 1-2 hits at this point. I think he was a little bit greedy, got saved the 2 circuits probably for the last phase.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Sky's getting the 3-cycle as well. So optimal positioning into that second phase is just left or right of center. So we can do a few hits before the phase actually starts.
Yeah, they both got a 3-cycle. Both of them actually were 2 hits away from getting a 2-cycle. I've seen BroedgeMan actually go for that strat, I guess. Not opting to use the shuriken at the edge. But I believe you have to use the shurikens, you know, the 2 shurikens that you have in order to get
in your damage phase, yeah.
Yeah. Well, both of them actually had a pretty decent fight, you know, for 3 cycles in the column.
Absolutely, those second phases were pretty flawless.
Yeah. And moving on to Coils from Mars, which is not necessarily that difficult, but it's actually a little bit tricky.
So it's big open platforming. It's very nice for using that that wingsuit.
Correct. And with the uses of glide attack, of course, you get some really nice height. This is where Sky, if Sky uses glide attack properly, you gain a little bit of advantage. Oh, BroedgeMan is gonna get the glide attack now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it puts them just about side by side here.
True. They're actually really close. This is like one of the uses of glide attack. You can see you can stay up in the air so high, and then you get a specific screen where specific part of the screen where you have to wait otherwise if you don't do this. So you save a little bit of time. So you see BroedgeMan is going to take the hit as well. This screen, even though it's like one of the longest screens I believe in the game, you can actually do it without actually stop pressing right. It's pretty impressive.
So that jump that BroedgeMan did, and Sky didn't there, he opted to take the easier route. It's probably the tightest jump I can think of in the game. Jumping over the ring of burrs.
Yeah, I believe it might be the tightest.
It's very tight. It's, you know, there's 1 or 2 pixels in it.
Yeah, it's definitely in this category, I would say. I actually don't really remember, or like full game.
True, I don't run full game. In fact, I've never finished this game. Well, that's not true. I have finished the game, but I haven't played through all of it.
Yeah, you should.
I was working on editing saves, so I ended up fighting the Phantom boss before I've done most of the rest of the game. It's not that I don't love it, it's that I love this category so much.
BroedgeMan having a little bit of trouble there with the bird.
Morazio's comment in chat there.
Yeah. Right, Sky lost a little bit of time. Didn't really see exactly where, but probably there were a couple of screens that were a little bit tricky. We are approaching the end of this level, and in this level we also have a boss fight, which is not that difficult with the strats. It kind of depends on the first pattern, I guess, the first cycle, to see how the runners react to it. If they manage to get a specific strat, then the fight will go really well.
So BroedgeMan has the slight advantage here on that. He's bought that health upgrade, so he has 6 hit points rather than 5. Doesn't seem like much, but it can make all the difference. Not so much in this fight, but particularly in the final level,
yeah,
where everything does a lot of damage.
So the fight is scripted right now. BroedgeMan actually had a really good fight, and gets enough hits, goes to the door, throws the shuriken, and actually kills the boss. Because it's scripted that when the boss lands in the center, it takes only 1 hit to die. After you deal like enough damage. Sky had a really good fight as well, I think.
So now we see Crags, which is my absolute favourite platforming level in this game.
Yeah, and I gotta say, for anyone who doesn't know, it's actually Dream Azar is the only person I know who loves crags.
It's beautiful. Yay, Conigus with my my quotable emote there. One of 3 people that has it, including me. But hey, it's fun. It makes me smile.
We're getting an upgrade here, to Azar, and it's actually a really cool upgrade. Probably the best upgrade in the game.
It's the most fun upgrade in the game. I think it's why I love this level so much, because this level is made for the rope dart. I need to stress, as I always do, it's a rope dart. It's not a hook shot. It's not a grappling hook. It's a rope dart.
Oh my God.
BroedgeMan with that sneaky little one-tile jump there.
I love it. I should probably try to do that in my runs as well, so for fun.
Well, that's my backup strat in Bamboo, where both runners ended up on that right side of the most difficult room in Bamboo. My backup strat is to take that one tile.
Yeah. Like there in the elevator. Yeah, that tile is really useful if you know how to do it. To recover. Now, BroedgeMan actually spent a lot of time in that screen though, despite the fact that you got a really cool jump, I suppose. So Sky actually caught up with BroedgeMan. They're like probably half a screen away.
Let's see what BroedgeMan does here. He does opt for... No, he doesn't. There is a slight time save that you can do there by attacking that enemy on the platform. That was an unfortunate drop into the spikes there, although looks like Sky took a death there as well.
Yeah, that death puts you like quite far behind, I would say. It's like extremely unfortunate.
Although BroedgeMan's having some difficulty with this time save here.
Oh, true. Okay, he managed to recover that one, kind of.
I think he dislikes crags more than you do at this point.
Probably, yeah.
So here's the most ridiculous boss in the game.
Yeah. So basically, there are 2 guys, and
they just really want to fight. They just enjoy fighting.
So I don't remember the names.
Colossus and Sussus.
So Sussus is the green guy, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember which one's which.
Yeah. You can hit the green guy in the front, and the orange, red guy on the back, unless he does like a specific attack. This is
when they do these double attacks, this wastes a lot of time. So we should talk a little more about the rope dart. There is a few iframes just at the end of the rope dart animation, which is abused massively during this fight. A fairly fast fight for BroedgeMan. That dual attack was not particularly fun.
Yeah, when they get a combo, which means like both of them get on the screen to do like a specific attack, and you lose a little bit of time. Now we found like a new strat that you can like get close to each other and use the rope dart to get the iframes and not get damaged, and actually deal damage to both of them. So we kind of managed a way to, you know, make
it's damage management more than anything. Yeah. It's still not good, but it's making the best of it.
Exactly. And this is the second more like technical level, I guess, in the game, and by far my favorite, and for many people, their favorite level in this category.
Well, the problem that I have with it is it's ice physics.
Yeah, but you gotta jump. You gotta get cloud stuff and...
Because the troll in chat, world record holder of this game, is not using Chinese text, he's using Japanese text. Wait, is he actually using Chinese text?
Or maybe it's Chinese, I have no idea. So you saw a really beautiful screen. Unfortunately it's done. We're gonna see that from Sky as well. One of the reasons I really enjoy Glacial Peak is because you use every single upgrade that you have in your tool and every single thing in the game in this stage. Lanterns, enemy placement, everything works so well together that you can chain everything to like a beautiful, beautiful speedrun in my opinion. This level is, the flow in this level is absolutely magnificent.
Particularly the climbs, some of the climbs in this level are beautiful.
Yeah, the vertical parts of the stage are absolutely magnificent.
So here's our second look at Halberd Guy. And there he goes, that's it.
Yeah. So, see Halberd Guy. Again, no spoilers. Play the game if you want to know who it is.
BroedgeMan taking the safer strategy in this lantern room.
Both of them actually have a pretty decent level. From what I saw so far, like from BroedgeMan, he used all the strats that are like kind of old strats that we used to do in this level. BroedgeMan used to run this game quite a lot, like a couple of weeks ago. I think he's focusing on some other stuff right now, but you know, he's still like pretty good with mechanics, of course. But the strats need a little bit of an update, in my opinion. And as I said in the beginning of the run, as a messenger, we had to deliver the scroll in the top of the mountain on the other side of the island. So we did.
This is it?
Yeah. So scrolls actually are not only used for reading, they can also summon a tower out of nowhere.
Well, we don't read the scroll. We haven't read the scroll at all.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because if someone hands you a scroll, isn't that the first thing you do? You open it up and say, you know, what does this say? No, we're too polite for that.
Yeah. I mean, who has time to read scrolls where you can actually gain cloud step out of like damaging enemies in throwing shurikens? I mean, come on.
Also, the fact that it's strapped to your back when you're underwater, it makes it look like scuba gear.
Pretty much.
So BroedgeMan in the Tower of Time. This is puzzle platforming with more puzzles than platforming, maybe.
Yeah, this is where your mind gets melted, like too much to think.
There is kind of a lore-specific reason for it being a terribly designed level. I wouldn't say it's terribly designed, but it is annoying.
Yeah. Like right now, the 3 stages actually put us on a test. I guess we have to do this level to prove that we are like the messenger, the chosen one, something like that, something along those lines.
Yeah, just bringing them the scroll isn't enough. Hey, I faced all these perils to bring you a scroll, but that doesn't make me a messenger. That just makes me a postman.
I mean, if you can handle the thing, then you are working from a messenger, I think. So, interesting to notice that BroedgeMan has 6 HP as I mentioned earlier. He got a hit which puts him at 5 HP, and 5 HP is where we actually want to be if we want to get a specific skip. All the lasers in this level deal 4 damage, and they are the highest damage, I guess, from the game. Like every single trap does 3 points of damage, but the lasers do 4. So we want to be at that like HP value because there is a specific skip here.
Just in this room?
Yeah.
If he decides to go for it, he may not.
May not, yeah. He's opting not to. I guess for a race, it's safer to go for it, to not go for it.
Oh, it looks like Sky's taken another death. So mostly this level is a massive waste of time. They cram a lot of stuff into one little room, and you just have to navigate your way around lasers, crystal switches.
Yeah. I mean, there is like one cool boss again. That's nice.
Yeah. Arcane Sigma.
Yeah. Oh. Come on, make me jump. Right, so this room
This is the time waster room.
Yeah. I mean, it's alright, I guess. I don't know.
I think the idea is to discourage you from going backwards after this point.
Probably, yeah.
I think it's 18 seconds, that room.
Yeah, I mean...
It's a long room, and it exists literally to waste time.
I usually, like, make dinner, do the laundry, and then I come back and I'm still in that room. So I don't know, I haven't counted it. So BroedgeMan is approaching the end of the run. One final boss. The Thing.
The Thing. They're going to do the first of The Thing. There is another of The Thing, but we don't see it in this run.
But this is The Thing. It's like really scary, kind of monk-esque. There are like a couple of new strats with Rope Dart. We might see BroedgeMan do the saber thing. The saber cheese, I should say.
It doesn't look like it. Oh yes, he is. He's taking the safer technique. So if you've ever played Mega Man X, this will look somewhat familiar.
I actually haven't played, so I'm not sure about that.
So the final boss is Sigma. Very similar, sort of full-size boss. So that's BroedgeMan finished. GG's to him.
GG indeed. I think I might have spoiled that in chat. Whoops. Yeah, that was actually a pretty clean fight from BroedgeMan. Let's see if I can bring him for an interview, not sure.
It's a little laser room, not very technical platforming, but it looks cool. That's pretty much the entire reason for it.
So we are technically going to see the second thing, but it's not the second thing in the game, it's the second thing of the race from the second runner. Let's see how Sky does. Sky, I believe, is on PB pace.
That was the one thing I didn't check before this race.
Yeah, I believe Sky recently got a 39 something. I'm not sure. Pretty alright fight so far. Taking those hits. Oh, fell. Okay, Commander's curse.
And BroedgeMan just invalidating his run.
Banned. And this is it. Sky getting time of 39.22. 2 minutes behind BroedgeMan, but a really solid run from both of them.
Respectable time.
Yep, couple of deaths in the beginning that can cause you a little bit of trouble, especially for Sky, since Sky had to get a second win in Catacombs. So it was like a little bit far behind, but both of them actually managed to finish with a really good time. So I believe we will not have anyone for an interview, from what I see. So I'm not sure if we have any scheduled races for the tournament.
I think the next scheduled race is going to be tomorrow. It's going to be Vascos versus Mr. Dino.
Yeah, that's going to be a nice one, since that group is actually quite open. All three runners in that group, because Kuningas actually managed to secure his spot with 3 out of 3 wins. The other 3 runners are really close to each other, and we saw Vascos yesterday getting a victory over Cold Tahoe. So if Mr. Dino manages to get a victory and then Cold Tahoe gets a victory out of it, we might have a triple tie.
So I believe there have been three runners so far who have got 3 straight wins. So there's Renubris and Kuningas, and I can't remember who the other one is.
I mean, he's just another runner.
It's just this guy, you know?
Yeah, it's just this guy who got 2 BBs in the races as well.
I think that looks like it's going to be it for us.
Yep. So thank you, Azar, for commentary. It was
Thanks for
fun.
joining me.
Yep, anytime.
GG's to the runners. All that's left is to thank you for watching. We'll catch you guys again. Take care.
Yeah. See you, everyone.